also want to just say, for those of you that didn't hear this when we first jumped on, a big, massive, massive, massive congratulations to Luke Kittle.
Yeah, Iron Man. Just finished Iron Man. He is an Iron Man.
That is unreal.
Try Synergizer, Axio.
All of the above.
Give us one testimonial about it and how you think it might help you, just for the team, just to give us a good feeling about what we're doing.
So again, I just kudos myself. I was the only amputee to cross the finish line that day. And everybody's asked when we got back, how do you feel? How long did it take you to recover? How do you feel today? I went into it knowing I wanted to finish, 1, 2, preserve my leg for the run, because that's my weakest area. Still under 15 hours and 30 minutes. And I felt completely recovered by Wednesday. So 3 days of a full Ironman and 15 hours of bodily abuse. And by Wednesday, and again, so that's why I wanted to get with you, Jamie. I've got to figure this out now. I need to talk to the guys in the lab or something. That's just unbelievable. Because people are like, well, I did a marathon and I was crushed for a week, or, I was crushed for 10 days or whatever. My left leg, my good leg, I had no aches or pains in it on Sunday. I don't know. I don't, that was with 4 hours of sleep after the race, took my sister to the airport. We drove home on Sunday. Unbelievable.
We got to share this with everybody.
That is amazing.
Yep.
That is amazing.
And that's the only thing I can chalk it up to. Again, I did a lot of training. Yeah, I get it, but everybody trains. To be able to recover like that, unheard of. I have to believe that's almost unheard of. So that's my piece.
That's awesome.
We've been trying to link up all week, so we'll link together today, tonight, or tomorrow. Whatever.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We're not in the pool or running down the street.
Yeah.
That's what today was. So.
Well, thank you for sharing. That is so awesome. Okay, so we are going to dive right into this. This is some full-on training. Y'all know sometimes we're, it's a little more social, but today we're going to go, it might be fast and furious, but we think that many of you will appreciate this training, and you can critique us on this, because we're trying to refine how we share what it is we're doing. So can you all see this slide? I'm a super visual person, so for me, I just have to see something visual. Do y'all see that? Okay. So today is all about, we're going to build an unstoppable mindset that's wired for IPAs, income producing activities, or sometimes you hear income generating activities, but we're going to use the language IPA. And because that's what you're going to hear for those of you who are involved in the ICANN Institute, that's the word they use, IPA. And why is this so important? So if you look at this image over here on the right, this is a graphic I took from the ICANN Institute. They've done tons of studies and research. And what they know about this industry, doesn't matter what your product is that it is 97% mindset. Okay, it's a little bit of skills. You learn the skills, you learn the strategy, you learn the product information, but it is really about your mindset. And in that mindset, we're talking about belief in the products, belief in the company, and belief in yourself. And so there are so many opportunities to educate yourself on the products through videos, through live trainings, through our in-person events. In fact, there's the LVA is coming up this Saturday. So if you're not aware of that, there is an LifeVantage Academy. It's a virtual, but there's also in-person places you can do it throughout the country. So you can register for that via your own URL, your own website. You also get emails about it from LifeVantage. That is a great opportunity to educate yourself and build belief in our products and our company. Now, the belief in yourself, that's where it gets a little harder, right? And it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're running an Ironman or you're doing this business, I mean, that's the real work. That's the essence of where we're going with this. And so one of the things you hear all the time is that this is a numbers game. Like, how many of you had heard that before? Have you guys heard that this is a numbers game, right?
Just get the numbers
Get the
in,
numbers,
and
get the numbers.
it'll
And
all work itself out.
I hate hearing that, because it's like, there's not a friend or family member or even a human being that I'm gonna share this information with that I want them to feel like a number. They're not a number to
You
me.
even know what it's like to be a number. You were a number in the Army. I was
Yeah.
3429. That was my number.
So,
My last
okay,
four.
so here's what, and you guys have heard me talk about the ICANN Institute and Deb Erickson. Here's what she says. It's not a numbers game. It's an energy game, but there is math involved. And so you got to master the math. Master the math. So here is the simple math. And again, it doesn't matter what the product is. It doesn't matter. It's 1 in 10 people are going to say yes. All right. So what you have to remember is, do not take the other 9 personally. Just don't do it. It's not about you. It is the math of the business. That's what it is.
It's about them.
It's about them. It has nothing to
timing.
do with you. It doesn't have to do with the product. It is about them. It's the numbers. It's the math. Do not take the 9 personally. So all we're trying to do is we are trying to find that one that's going to say yes. And so one of our mentors, Mark Shinsato, always says, say less to more people. Okay. Don't waste your time. We wasted so much time in the beginning of trying to say too much, and say less to more people. Okay. So for those of you who have been with us for a while, I want to give you a big picture, because I needed to go, okay, we really looked at, when we shared the self model and like how we have been successful in getting to Pro 5 over the course of 2 years, and we created self. I'm not going to talk about that today. If it's not familiar to you, don't worry. But for those of you who've heard that class, that training, just know that that's a part of this. And then for most of you, maybe not those of you who like literally, like Sarah just came on yesterday. She hasn't even seen this yet, but there's the launch guide, and it has the ITT system. That is our Life Vantage system, right? Invite tool team, okay? That is also important, but it's still kind of big picture, right? You're probably not saying invite tool team to yourself every day. All right, we want to like even drill down on it even more. And think about, we're going to hone in and really hit the target here with income producing activities, or IPAs. And then some of our mentors in the Pro 5 summit taught us, they're like, tracking is also important. It's in fact, some of them will say it's an IPA, but we don't want you to consider it an IPA, because if you're not doing the IPAs, really, you're not really got enough to, generate enough IPAs, there's nothing to track. So what we want you to focus on is the IPAs. So focus on IPAs to move people through the funnel faster. So if you think, again, I'm a visual person, so you got that target, but if you look down on it, it's also this funnel. All right, so keep this funnel in your mind for just a moment, and I'm going to play something so you can hear. When we talk about IPAs, we're going to talk a little bit about touches, but I want you to hear this from a woman who knows this system. And for those of you who are already registered for ICANN Institute, you're going to learn a lot about this. I'm going to back it up just a hair.
A result, we asked 500 network marketers how much action they're actually in. Now, look at this pie chart here, because that tells you the amount. So I want you to know that 76% of the people we interviewed said they do 3 touches or less a day. So this is original cold calling, reaching out, messages, Facebook Lives, text calls, all of it. Only 3 touches a day. What 22% of you said was 4 to 19 a day, and the top 2% said 20 plus. In fact, what the top 2% said is, I do 20 touches and 10 nurtures. So 20 touches means those cold connections, or reaching out and meeting 20 new people a day. And nurtures are the follow-ups, 10. So they're a total of talking to 30 people in a day. So what I want you to do is tell me, what do you do? And you can use this week to keep score. I'd love you to set some goals, but I want you to actually kind of keep track. Where am I really? You can guess, but I want you to find out where you really land in relationship with others. Now, the second question we said is, okay, great. How many daily IPAs, income producing activities? So those are invitations to buy, invitations to join, right? Invitations to come to an event. How many of those do you do every single day? Again, look at this, guys. 43% said, I don't do any of those on a daily basis. 55% of those we interviewed said 1 to 2 a day. Top 3% said 3+ a day. So how many do you do? How many invitations to an activity that's going to put money in your pocket? How many of those do you do every single day?
How many IPAs a day? Now, these are for top earners. This is, you want to make this happen. You're really committed to this business. How many IPAs did they say?
3. 3 or more.
Three, minimum of 3,
But
right?
what are IPAs?
So what are IPAs?
It just confused the heck out of me
That
this
is,
whole time.
so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the queen of fake work where I thought I was doing IPAs. I'm just going to admit it to it. He's much better. So I was like, honey, you get to talk about what are IPAs, and then I'm going to tell you what IPAs are not.
Yeah, I think I have about 3 minutes, but Susan's going to kick me underneath the video and let me know when to stop talking.
I know. I can't figure out. Sorry. I'm like, where the heck?
So
do I
how
put
many of
this?
you out there kind of like, okay, you've heard income producing activities, income generating activities. You're like, okay, well, I'm doing those, but they're not making any money. Like, I think I'm doing them. Like, how many of you have like confused about what that actually means and how do you actually do it? And how do I actually track it? And so when we talk IPAs, I think it's very important for us to define the terms, right? There's so many, just like in the military, just like in any job you have, if you're a nurse, doctor, or whatever you do for a profession, you have these acronyms or you have these initialisms and these sayings and these terms, and it's important for us to define what those terms are, right? So you're going to hear in this industry IPAs and income producing activities. Well, it's important for us as a team to figure out, what do we mean when we say income producing activities? When you say 3 a day, what does that mean I have to do? Well, here's what we're saying, and the majority of the industry say about income producing activities. Invite, right? What does that invite mean? In our LifeVantage system, invite, tool, team, right? So the invite them to view the information. Think of this as like a tennis match. Like, you deliver, they either hit it back or they don't. So you invite them to hear the information. There's a reason why we have follow-up at the bottom. And this is kind of confuses me at the beginning, but this is how I understand it, and I hope it helps. Invite, there's no response. Well, then you got to follow up to the invite, right? So we put it at the bottom because follow-up is in all 3 of those: invite, expose, and close. But they're all 4 of those actions are income producing activities. So you get credit for doing those. So invite them to view the information. They don't respond back. Well, then you follow up with them. Well, that's another IPA. So that's 2 different income producing activities. That's how you have to look at it. And then they respond and say, yeah, I'd be interested in hearing that information. Then you expose them to the information. That's either sending them a first touch video. That's either inviting them and bringing them into a 3-way call or a phone call or a presentation. That's exposing them to the information. That's an IPA. You can do multiple IPAs for one person, right? You can talk to them one day, and then on Wednesday you talk to them again, and so you get credit for all of those IPAs. And then the close.
Check marks.
Yeah,
Little check marks. We all like check marks.
Exactly. And so then the close, but say, let's go back to expose. You expose them to the information, but they're like, well, I want to do a little bit more research on it. Well, then a couple of days later, you follow up, right? You follow up while they're in that part of the funnel or at that target, because we're trying to get into, those of you that marksmanship, we're trying to get into that 10 ring, right? We're trying to get into that middle to where we close with a call to action. So closing is with a call to action, and there's 3 different calls of action, right, that we deal with: customer, business partner, or referral. And however you want to word that, there's many ways to word it so it's smooth or fits your personality. But that is the close when you, and sometimes you say, well, that's interesting, let me look at some more information. Well, then a couple of days later, you follow up on the close. So the follow-up is throughout the entire funnel: invite, follow up, expose, follow up, close, follow up. So that's the tennis match that happens between you and that person, right? That's a person on the other side. We must never forget that it's a person that we're dealing with that has issues, challenges, dreams, desires, and we have to figure out what those are. They're not a number, they're not a check mark, they're a person, but the check marks allow you to say, okay, am I working my business on the right things? And when you only have 30 minutes a day, we're saying spend your 30 minutes a day on IPAs. If you only have 30 minutes a day, spend your 30 minutes a day on IPAs.
Or even 5 minutes a day. I
whatever it
timed
is.
myself this
5
morning.
minutes.
So, because I was like, the touches are easy, right? Those kind of like, sprinkle here, sprinkle there. The IPAs, there's a little more, you got to get that mindset clear.
So you want to talk
It's
about what
clear
some
and focused.
IPAs are not?
I'm going to talk about what they're not. But today I was like, I only have time to do 3 IPAs. I'm not going to have time to do some of the other things I would normally do, like social media or blah, blah, blah. So 3
Social media is
IPAs,
not IPA?
I did them in like 5 minutes. So if you only have 5 minutes a day, you can do 3 IPAs. I'm telling you, you can. It is not that hard if you're in the right mind frame and mindset. So
But you also have to have them in the funnel, right?
right.
And so that's the outside of the target. That's the connect and that's the engage. Those are the touches that Deb Erickson talked about in the video. Those are the touches that get you to the IPA. But we want to focus today on the priority, which is IPAs, and understanding what IPA is, so we don't get distracted by being busy in the business. So we can focus on the business and not just being busy. And wondering why we're not getting any traction or why we're not getting the results that we're looking for, because I've been defining IPAs differently, and I've been sitting here wondering why my IPAs aren't producing income. Like, man, I'm doing IPAs, but they're not producing any income. When's the income going to happen? And then when you start to focus your effort, I think everyone understands that. Focusing those priorities on the IPA. And so Susan's going to share a couple of things like what an IPA isn't.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again.
Personal experience.
Sorry, I apologize that I'm a little clunky here with all these things, but I feel like it's good to see some examples. So I'm going to give you some social media examples, right? Because I feel like there are a lot of you who are using social media. It seems like such an easy thing to do. And I will tell you, if you're new to our company is different than some other product companies. We do not recommend you just post the product on there and try to sell it. That's not what works. The only time I do that, I did that yesterday because we're having a flash sale. And you're going to see it come down later tonight. Like, I won't leave that up there, right? And there's reasons for that. I'm not going to go into that. But so my personal guide for social media is make your 99% of your post, if you're going to use social media, you should not have a product picture in there. Only use that on occasion. You really want to engage with people. Social media is social. People don't go to social media to be sold to. They go to Amazon to buy, right? What they want to know is, who are you? What are you doing? They're almost really buying you. So I want to give you some examples of my fake work, okay? Not fake work, I shouldn't say that. I laugh because I call it fake work, my fake IPAs. I was thinking these were all IPAs.
You're putting check marks in the wrong boxes.
I was like, check, 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 check. Not, these are recent ones. So not so much recently, but in the beginning I was like, okay, check, check. I'm really doing this business. I made this awesome post that took me, 20 minutes to create or something.
At least.
So, but let me tell you where the IPAs are. So first of all, and I'm going to give you some examples of posts. So the gut health post we just did, right? That is an informational post. I'm putting it out there this is what I'm doing. This is to generate some interest, right?
But
So
is it like
that's not an IPA. You know what an IPA is? If somebody, and another good rule of thumb, if you're posting this event is happening, I don't care whether it's an in-person event or Zoom or whatever, if you're posting your link and the Zoom information in there, it will never be an IPA unless by chance they click on that link and show up and you engage with them.
by
Which
luck?
It is luck.
It's like a
This is
snare.
a lucky post. You might
Snare
get
me.
lucky, but I'm telling you, do not put the information link on there. You notice I always say, reach out to me for the call details, because then you maybe have an opportunity.
Yeah, we strongly recommend not to
To-
put the link on.
Yes, that's my personal opinion. Okay, somebody else might tell you something different, but I'm giving you what's worked for us. So you want to engage with people so you can actually invite them, send them a link to the call, or send them the address to the place where the meeting is happening. Okay, so this is an informational post. The IPA happens in Messenger.
Yes.
This post, I just threw this up where because it got a ton of people were like, oh my gosh, literally people were like, thought that was hilarious of the whole, if you heard me tell my airborne story about puking in my shirt, it was kind of gross, but it got a lot of attention. And people reached out to me about that. And actually one of them was like, and I've been wondering about your business. Okay, then it becomes an IPA. Are you open to hearing some information about it?
And-
Yes.
and by-
Okay, here's what's happening. So this post in and of itself is not an IPA. It's not a check mark on your IPA list. It's what's happening, the conversation, the Marco Polo, the tennis match, whatever is the IPA. Now, this one right here, this post I made right after we came back from Pro 5 Summit, and I had pictures of the Pro 5 Summit. And this post is a little different in my opinion. I wish I could click on it, but you could go back and look at it historically. I actually did a 5-minute video that was my LifeVantage story and my testimony. And I told a little bit about why I decided to do the business, which had a lot to do with my father. So some of y'all have heard that story. That was a little more intentional. It was almost like a mini presentation. So you know what? I'm going to give myself a check mark in the box for that one, because you know what happened after that post? In the comment section of that post, I got a bunch of comments on that. Some people were like, oh, beautiful. Oh, wow, that's so moving. Oh, I miss your dad. I love your dad. Da, 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 da. But this right here, and I'm sorry I didn't X out the names. I don't think anybody here knows this person, but look at this. First, I want to learn more about this. I'm interested. Boom. Now she answered, I said Marco and she said Polo. Okay. You know, you've made a good post if somebody says Polo in the comment section. Okay. So that's an example, right?
Yeah, but see, I would argue that right there has become an IPA now, because now you're taking the conversation to another place, but the post itself wasn't an IPA.
Right. So we're not going to debate whether the post itself was an IPA, but I'm just saying you can waste a lot of time on social media.
Right.
And you can actually waste a lot of time on the phone. Same thing, right? If somebody asks you what you're doing now, you need to have in your mind before you have that conversation, is this going to be a part of this is what I'm doing now? Because if not, you may never get to it. I've had that so many times where I thought this was a perfect opportunity to share with somebody. And for some reason I was talking about, all these other things about what I'm doing now. But if it's important to you, have in your mind a couple of one-liners about this is what I'm doing.
But then get the conversation back on
Back
the
to
person
them.
you're talking to. This is what I'm doing now, but tell me about that trip you just went on. It sounds so interesting, because you want to keep them curious and you want to keep them asking you for the information. When they're asking you for the information, now you're in the driver's seat. But if you're pushing the information, it's a one-way tennis match.
So those little conversations where you're planting little little seeds, you're saying, this is what I'm doing now. That's a touch. That's a touch. Unless they full on say, oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
But we don't recommend that you go into a presentation. Think about, oh, I would love, I don't really have time to talk about it right now because you guys know, I mean, it can be in a long conversation. My team is doing a great call next week on how these products support people who've been impacted by trauma. Would you like to join that? Or, my business partner, Daisy Shane Goodwin, does a 20-minute overview of the products, and the business. If you're interested in that, can you jump on that call? Get them to somewhere else. Don't do it. Don't try to do it all yourself. It's time consuming. And if you may think, oh my gosh, how in the world can I do all these IPAs? Like maybe you don't have time to do 3 every day, but you know what? If you do a meeting, a home meeting, or get, you say you do 5-10 invites to a call, there you go. That's getting people to the information in a larger quantity, right? So these one-on-ones can be a time suck. Not to say you shouldn't have them, but be mindful of how much time you're spending on those. You want to comment on that?
Yeah, and an easy out to turn the conversation is, this is going to take me about 20 to 30 minutes. When do you have 20 to 30 minutes in your schedule? Tomorrow, the next day? Because for me to really explain this to you well, and I want you to hear it the way I heard it. And so that's when you get a business partner that's on this call, one of us, somebody in the organization, to then be a part of that conversation with you. So you're now doing your IPAs in 5 to 10 minutes each, most, and then you're setting up a call, which is another IPA, at a later date, Thursday or Friday, and you're really setting your schedule at your time, and then presenting the information all together, and not just presenting it at one time, of where the person you're talking to feels really overwhelmed by all the information.
Yeah. And it's very easy to put people in overwhelm with this on the first couple of exposures. So, okay. So I just want to show you this because it's always, here's some of the math, right? Okay. This is somebody who went all the way through my funnel, and I just wanted to show you, right? So I invited her to an opportunity meeting. I invited her to, I think it was the veterans call that we did a couple weeks ago. And I invited her. She said, yes, I'm interested in attending and seeing what you're doing. And then I followed up. I hadn't heard anything from her. I checked in. I said, hey, it was great to see you. It was great to see you at the meeting. That was awesome. And she came back and she said, oh yeah, it was so interesting. I was very inspired by, all the veterans that spoke, right? But she didn't ask for more information. So then it's like awkward. It was like, okay, well, she didn't say, send me a card or, I'm interested in learning more. So I just kind of let it rest for a few days. And then when the flash sale started, I said, hey, just letting you know, if you are interested in any of those products, there's a sale going on. And I sent her this, and there you go. There's the no. Thanks, Susan. I'm not really interested. You see my response, no problem, right? Don't take it personally. She's one of those 9. No big deal. No big deal. All right. So I know it's like,
because that no gets you closer to the
that
yes.
no. So I know for me, I always resisted the close. And I get down to that funnel. And so then you just get people hanging on. And you're wasting your energy there on people that really aren't. And so actually what I said after that, no problem, I said, if you know anyone who's ever interested in nutrigenomic products, please let me, actually, you know what they said, Tina? Because that was, I'll tell you, it was a mutual friend of ours. And I said, please reach out to me or Tina and let us know. So there you go. She automatically, I haven't looked to see if she responded, but then she gets the choice to be a referral. And knowing her, she will be a referral. It'll come down along the way. Maybe it didn't even register this information. But as we hear the words epigenetics and nutrigenomics and biohacking, like it might have been so new to her, she wasn't ready to receive the information. I don't know what the reason is. Who knows? It doesn't matter. But, you know, one of our mentors at Pro5 said, there's no such thing as a close. There's always an opening. It's always an opening. It's an opening if they said no. It's an opening if they bought product, because that's what this is. We, especially on this team, we care about people. We care about our customers. We are going to continue to stay in contact with them. That's the difference between being a part of this community and finding some product on the shelf. So let's see what the chat says. Now I'm see the chat.
Yeah, and you know, I had a note today over the phone. Right? And I said, well, the key, this individual is my friend, right? He's my friend. He's my friend before this. He's my friend today. And I just met him and let him know that it's no problem. We're friends before, we're friends after. Like, that is the big scary thing about this whole industry, is all of the horror stories about losing friendships and how do I sell to my friends and all that. Well, you know how you don't sell to your friends? You don't sell to your friends. I mean, to me, it's that easy. You share information, and they can either take it or not, and they're not rejecting you. They're not ready to hear the information for whatever reason. It's not you they're rejecting. You're still friends, and we want all of your friends today to be your friends tomorrow. And so if you're a salesperson, you need to get that out of your vocabulary, get that out of your mindset. We're not selling product. We're helping people that are looking. We're bringing people into our lives that are looking. And so you just got to go through them. You just got to sift and sort and say, okay, well, they're not looking right now. Okay.
Because they don't even really know what they're looking for. How many of you knew what this was? How many of you really heard about nutrigenomics?
Yeah, put a one in the
Had
chat.
anybody ever heard
Or
of this
raise your hand.
I didn't.
If you knew what this was when you first heard about it. And
Yeah.
Exactly. No clue. I had no clue what it was. And Kamali's on this call. She's the one that introduced us to this. Susan says it to me. I'm like, I don't know what this is. What is this stuff? I'm not even interested in this stuff. Then I drank Axio. Like,
Oh, Mary did. That's true. Mary did know in 2014.
Well, yeah, okay.
And Jake Davis, he knew, you know,
But the question is, if you knew about it in 2014, why didn't you get into it in 2014?
Well, she took the product. She didn't find the right team. Sometimes
right.
it's you got to find the right team. And that's true too. And we've got some distributors who, you know,
the right
this is a team. Mark Shinsato says all the time, think like a business professional, work like a team. So that's really what this is about. And sometimes you just have to find the right team. I mean, any business, right? I mean, lots of you have been in traditional business, and if you don't have strong business partners that you know and trust and really want to work with and enjoy being with, it's not going to go far. So
everyone can be a customer, but not everyone can be a distributor on this team. I'll just tell you that right now. And so you all know who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. And so when you don't want to work with, I don't want to work with them either. If you don't want to work with them, I don't want to work with them. Okay, so it's that simple. We're all business owners. We decide who we work with. We're not issued anybody. We don't show up to a formation and that's the people that we got them. We got to figure out how to make them work. We get to decide today who we work with tomorrow. Yeah. And that is the beauty of this whole thing. Everyone that's on this call, we love you guys. We love working with you. We look forward to Thursdays. We look forward to talking to you on the phone. And we want you, when you looking at people and your friends and everything, who do you want to travel with? Who do you want to be with? Who do you want to have fun with? Who do you want to watch their kids grow old, grow older, grow up, go to graduation, spend time with them? Because that's how we see this. Our son is in this business. Our little one, our 14-year-old, he's going to be in this business. He's like, Dad, all I want to do is take economics. He told me that today in homeschool. Like, I don't want to take science. I just want to take economics classes because I'm doing what you're doing when I get older.
And part of that is because we took him to convention, and some of y'all have heard this, some of you haven't. He, after convention and really seeing just the larger LifeVantage community, he was like, that was the best weekend ever.
Yeah.
That's how special this group of people is. That's how special this company is. And when your 14-year-old says that, who is, I mean, he's just like any other 14-year-old boy. He loves his games and he can be he was not on his phone aside from taking pictures and video during that convention. And those of you sat near us can confirm the whole time. All day long.
Didn't he say, why doesn't everybody do this? Because all you have to do is love on people.
Yes.
That's his quote.
He said, this is the easiest business. All you have to do is love people. I was like, yeah, you're
All you
right.
gotta do is love people.
You gotta love and
Wow.
care about people, and you gotta love yourself enough to not let those 9 bother you. It's not about you. This is, and the more you learn about our products, the more you learn about our company, really and truly. I mean, I just think there's no greater time in the course of our lives when we felt so compelled to share what we have. And the more you learn about it, the more you can't not talk about it.
So can I share a thing about that? I know we're over time. And can I have your permission to just tell you this story? Guys, give me a thumbs up. Okay. This time is like if you were sitting in Steve Jobs' garage when they talked about Apple computers in the late 70s. That's what this is. This is going to revolutionize human health. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Supplements are, this is replacing supplements. You heard Luke's testimonial. You heard him with an Ironman. In 2-3 days, he was recovered. Like this is, and our grandkids are going to want this. See, Steve Jobs took a bite of the apple. Well, we have the apple. He took a bite of it, but we got it. We got the apple. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, this apple is going to keep the doctor away. This apple is keeping all of those crazy doctors away. Steve Jobs bit the apple. We got the apple. And so, and there's a lot of room for growth. It's a $250 million company. We're a baby. We're a baby in this. Everyone on this call, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, it'll change your entire life and your family's life and your grandkids' life.
All right, any questions about IPAs before I conclude with a little announcement here?
And we'll go, we'll learn it as we go.
And
training doesn't work, work trains.
Yeah, you honestly, it's like you just got to do it. So, and you can't screw it up because you're learning every time. Yep, Ken says never quit, just be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay, so some of you have reached out to me. If you need to go, that's the IPA section. But if you are interested in where we are with this ICANN Institute and the training with Deb Erickson and the whole membership thing, because people will have to say, I've gotten several questions, so I just said I'll answer your questions on the training tonight. But for those of you who aren't interested in the ICANN Institute, that's fine. You can jump off, or anybody can jump off. You can also watch this recording. But I wanted to just clarify. So the ICANN Institute, Jamie and I are so fired up about this. The neuro tools, all the techniques that Deb has. The training is phenomenal. It is short and sweet, and the neuro tools are huge. And just to tell you like why it was the big aha for me, I have seen these neuro tools, these binaurals, the EFT, the tapping, all of that stuff used in clinical settings for the last 18 years. So y'all know my story. I've been working with people with chronic pain, PTSD, anxiety, depression, you name it. These are used in that setting. And so we went, oh my gosh, they're using these in a business mindset training, right? So here we go. If you are, I just want to clarify, let me share my screen so that okay, I'm going to share my screen one more time. Okay, so back to the mindset thing here. This is what this is all about. And you're going to learn more. Like we literally shared a piece of the ongoing course from the ICANN Build course that's happening. So some of you said, what launched today? It's this course which is ICANN Build. And so some of you have the app. Hopefully you all went in through the website. But The app looks the same as the website. So if you're going to go to home, it pulls up this little wheel, My Success Path, and how you get to I Can Build is right here. And boom, look at what these courses are. Build an unstoppable mindset, honor the math of the business. So I played you a little excerpt from that class, actually this class that just launched, but see, it's going to go deeper into the mindset. And these are all super short courses. Okay. That course is only available. Some of you got the free, you can get the free app, no problem. And that's going to take you there's lots of great stuff on the free app. But if you want to be in this, I Can Build class that we're doing with Team Global Aloha over the next, really through Christmas. But it's short and sweet. I mean, literally you can
Do it on your own.
do it on your own, 15 minutes, once a week, maybe a little bit more if you're really doing the other stuff. But the videos, I mean, it's 15 minutes or less. You need to have either the gold membership or the silver membership. And if you use the code DAISY50, and I'll type that in here, DAISY50, it's half price. So that means you're getting a silver membership for like 10, 11 bucks, or the gold for 34. If you get the gold, you're going to get the access to all the classes. The next one we're going to do as a group is going to be I Can Sell and Recruit. So just if you can only do silver, that's fine. You'll have the I Can Build and 10 of the neuro tools. If you get the gold, you're going to have all the neuro tools and the classes, almost all the classes. Okay. So the other thing is, I said last week about registering for our Success Center. Now that is something, if you're like, nope, I'm not doing I Can Build, I don't want a monthly membership, which by the way, you can change, you can do it for just now to the end of the year and decide, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I tried the I Can Build, I think I got it, I'm going to roll forward, no membership, that's fine. Know that you always have access to our I Can Success Center, which you'll get a link for. Some of you have already signed up for it, but it has other classes that you can take, and we'll go through that later. But this I Can Success Center is for everybody, and it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. You get it because you're a part of our team. Okay. And with the free app, you get some of the basic neuro tools. So does that make sense? The Success Center is for everybody. The monthly membership, if you want to do the I Can Build class now, which is starting now, and that is going to give us, we're going to do some special sessions just for our team with Deb. So the memberships are getting you into those special sessions with Deb. And Deb and Daisy, some other leaders on our team, but those of you I met Daisy is something else. For the Success Center, we're going to do something for that as well. But I'm just saying, with our larger group, think about a membership. So hopefully that's clear. I'll send out some links for that, just to.
And if you have any questions,
just reach out. But I wanted to kind of clarify that for anybody who's confused.